Have you ever felt a chill crawl down your spine as you stepped into a new house? A sense of dread, a whisper of something unseen lurking just beyond your vision? Tonight, we delve into the darkness that festers within the walls of new homes, the terror that awaits unsuspecting families. These are not mere stories, my friends, but chilling echoes of true horror experienced by those brave enough, or perhaps foolish enough, to share their encounters. The air grows heavy with the weight of fear, the silence punctuated by the creaking of floorboards and the rustling of unseen entities. Join me, if you dare, as we journey into the heart of these unsettling accounts, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs and the darkness whispers your name. Picture this. A young couple, giddy with the excitement of owning their first home, decide to explore the depths of their dusty basement. The air hangs thick and musty, heavy with the scent of decay and forgotten memories. Light flickers from their lone flashlight, casting dancing shadows on the damp concrete walls. They laugh nervously, their voices echoing in the oppressive silence. The boy, ever the adventurous one, ventures deeper into the darkness, his girlfriend trailing cautiously behind. Cobwebs brush against their faces like ghostly fingers, and the floor creaks ominously beneath their feet. The beam of the flashlight dances across shelves cluttered with dusty jars and forgotten tools, revealing glimpses of forgotten lives. Suddenly the boy stops, his blood turning to ice. A cold, inexplicable breeze washes over them, raising goosebumps on their arms. The air grows heavy, suffocating, as a presence makes itself known. In the dancing shadows, a figure begins to form. Tall and gaunt, its edges blurring into the darkness, it seems to absorb the light itself. The couple stands frozen, their breath catching in their throats as the figure takes a step closer. Heavy breathing, raspy and guttural, seems to emanate from the shadowy figure. The boy's grip tightens on the flashlight, his knuckles white with terror. The girlfriend, paralyzed with fear, can only whimper, her eyes wide with terror. Outside, as if echoing the growing horror in the basement, an owl hoots mournfully, its call sharp and piercing in the stillness. A crow answers with a harsh caw, the sound seeming to reverberate through the very foundation of the house. The figure takes another step, its form solidifying, becoming more distinct. The boy can make out the faint outline of a long, flowing garment, and the glint of something cold and metallic clutched in its skeletal hand. With a gasp, the boy finds his voice. He screams, a primal sound of pure terror, and the shadowy figure lunges. The flashlight clatters to the floor, plunging them into absolute darkness. The girl screams too, her voice high-pitched and desperate as she stumbles backward, tripping over unseen objects in the darkness. The sound of their screams echoes in the darkness, swallowed by the oppressive silence that follows. A young woman, new to her home in the city, stood in her dimly lit bathroom, a soft sigh escaping her lips. The stress of moving, of being alone in a new place, weighed heavily on her. She picked up a cloth, intending to wipe down the large, ornate mirror that hung above the sink. As she worked, lost in her thoughts, she noticed something strange. A faint distortion in the mirror, a subtle rippling that shouldn't have been there. She paused, holding her breath, her eyes narrowing as she tried to focus on the anomaly. The rippling intensified, and for a fleeting moment she could have sworn she saw a figure standing behind her in the reflection. A tall, shadowy figure with eyes that seemed to burn with an eerie inner light. Her heart pounded in her chest and she spun around, expecting to come face to face with something. But the bathroom was empty. Shaking her head, she attributed the vision to stress and fatigue. She returned to cleaning the mirror, but a sense of unease lingered, prickling at the back of her neck. Then, she heard it. A whisper, faint and indistinct, seeming to come from the very depths of the mirror itself. She froze, her breath catching in her throat, as the whispering grew louder, more insistent. It swirled around her, ghostly murmurs that sent shivers down her spine. She couldn't make out the words, but the tone sent a chill through her very core. Terror, raw and primal, surged through her as the whispers intensified, morphing into a chorus of voices, all vying for her attention. She stumbled back from the mirror, her hand flying to her mouth to stifle a scream. The lights flickered, casting grotesque shadows that danced across the walls, and the whispering voices reached a fever pitch. The figure in the mirror, the one she had glimpsed earlier, was back, its burning eyes fixed on her with an intensity that stole her breath. She couldn't hold it in any longer. A scream, sharp and piercing, tore from her throat as she scrambled back, her eyes never leaving the horrifying apparition in the mirror. The figure seemed to grin, a grotesque, unnatural stretching of its shadowy lips. Outside, as if disturbed by the sudden eruption of terror, birds rustled in the trees, their wings beating frantically against leaves. A crow let out a sharp, startled caw, the sound echoing through the stillness of the night. From somewhere deep within the house, a low growl resonated, deep and guttural, like an animal disturbed. The lights flickered once more, plunging the bathroom into darkness, and the whispering voices abruptly ceased. In a brightly lit bedroom, seemingly untouched by the darkness that plagued the other homes, a young boy played with his cat, oblivious to the horror that lurked just beyond his perception. The cat, usually playful and energetic, suddenly froze, its body stiffening as its eyes fixed on a shadowy corner of the room. The boy, lost in his game, didn't notice the change in his furry companion. He continued to laugh and toss a small toy, but the cat remained rooted to the spot, its gaze unwavering. A low growl rumbled deep in its chest, a sound so uncharacteristic that it finally caught the boy's attention. He looked up, his laughter dying in his throat as he saw the fear in his cat's eyes. The fur on its back stood on end and its tail thrashed back and forth, a sure sign of its distress. He had never seen his beloved pet act this way before. The growling intensified, morphing into a hissing snarl that revealed the cat's sharp fangs. The boy, his brow furrowed in concern, reached out to soothe his pet, but before his hand could connect, something happened that sent a chill down his spine. The cat, as if yanked by an unseen force, was suddenly pulled backward, its claws scraping against the hardwood floor. It let out a yowl, a sound filled with pain and terror, as it disappeared into the shadowy corner of the room. The boy, his eyes wide with fear, scrambled to his feet, his gaze darting around the room, searching for any sign of his beloved pet. His heart pounded in his chest, and his breath came in short, panicked gasps. From the corner where the cat had disappeared, he heard a cacophony of sounds that made his blood run cold. Hissing and growling mixed with the distinct sound of claws scraping against wood, as if something unseen was dragging his cat into the darkness. Outside, as if echoing the horror unfolding in the bedroom, a wolf howled in the distance, its mournful cry sending shivers down the boy's spine. The hair on the back of his neck stood on end, and a primal fear, deep and instinctive, took root in his belly. Then, from the corner, a new sound emerged, a sound that chilled him to the bone. A low, guttural growl filled with malice and hunger resonated through the room. It was not the growl of a dog, nor any animal he could identify. This was something else, something ancient and evil. The boy, paralyzed with fear, could only watch in horror as a shadow seemed to detach itself from the darkness in the corner. It swirled and writhed, taking on a vaguely humanoid shape, its eyes glowing with a malevolent red light. A scream, filled with terror and despair, tore from the boy's throat as the shadowy figure lunged toward him, its clawed hand outstretched. The laughter, cold and mocking, echoed in his ears as darkness swallowed him whole. The stories we've explored tonight are just a glimpse into the vast realm of the unknown that awaits us in the shadows. The darkness whispers, filled with untold tales of horror, and it's up to us to decide whether to heed its call. Remember, as you lay your head down tonight and close your eyes, that the things that go bump in the night are not always figments of our imagination. Sometimes the nightmares are real, and they're closer than we think. Do you dare to visit again? Like, share, and subscribe for more?